Yeah, I think maybe the head is a little too big.
So yeah, we're just gonna...
It is for sale though if you'd like to buy that. It'll be $150 plus $10 shipping, so and we'll ship it to you. That's continental US.
There we go. Much better. Just go.
They said Orihime for 2 big reasons.
Oh yeah, she is a pretty fun character. She's a bit of a derp. That's
those are
one.
2 reasons.
Yeah, she's fun in a derp. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually kind of put fun in a derp into one category.
Oh, it's hyphenated. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a fun derp.
Yeah, and she's also got a very unique power.
Yeah, like you could do some cool art with like the shield thing.
Yeah, because she's got that shield
barrier.
Yeah, the shield, and then the healing thing that's actually like reversing time, which was a really cool
that was kind of interesting. Yeah,
and then the one that's just like an attack thing that's like supposed to like cuts through.
Yeah, I remember.
But she had 6 fairies, which again was very bizarre.
Yeah, I don't.
I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I thought it was like the powers that like Chad or Hime, even Uryu when the Quincy's were interesting.
Yeah.
We're all like, oh, this is like kind of interesting to see how they do other powers or other ideas of spiritualists in this world, and then they were just
Oh, the cat is so sad.
It's like one of those things like where they talk about like explaining the power makes the power less interesting.
That's what it was for me.
Also, Orihime, also hilariously always stuffing her face.
That's true.
Part of her being a derp.
Yep, she's a very hungry character.
Yeah.
Cat!
She was known as the bread girl.
Cat! Why are you so sad? And he runs from me. And he runs from me. I just wanted to pet him.
Yeah, she's the bread girl.
Yep. Yeah, he was not happy. He just ran into Sabrina's room, so...
So yeah, those are the... I'm guessing... I mean, there's plenty of reasons then.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it was just the cool powers. And
cool powers, fun character.
Yeah, those are the 2 big reasons, I think.
Bread girl.
Yeah.
That's at least what I would think of it.
Yeah. Oh, did I... You want me to turn this off?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Back to the fucking basement.
Yeah. But technically, even when the lights are on, it still looks a little weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just in the wrong spot. They might need to be moved closer to the picture. I just don't want them to shine in your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Those lights are fucking bright.
Yeah. But yeah, no. That's definitely what he meant, though, right?
I think that's what they meant. Yeah, I think that's what they meant. Yeah. If I had to guess. Let's do a zoom in here.
Probably, yeah. I could do a print of Ulquiorra, and that probably would sell.
Oh, let's see. Idol says, "Oh God, I just realized they accidentally made Uryu a Nazi sympathizer." Yeah, right. It's in the last part of Bleach. Ash with all the Quincy's. They basically are very German, and Uryu joins them because they were Quincy's.
Yeah, because he was looking. Well, he like kind of like it was.
Yeah, wasn't it kind of like undercover?
It was a ploy.
Yeah,
it was mainly a ploy, but he was also trying to figure out more about his own powers and his own kind because
that's what it was. Yeah,
because his dad was like very against the Quincy people, and also didn't like because apparently I think Ichigo's mother is like his cousin. I
think so.
Is Uryu's dad's cousin or something?
Something like that.
Well, you just know that Ichigo's mom is a Quincy. You find that out in this arc, and so yeah, like. And that's when you are like
Ichigo has the power of everything in the entire series.
Yeah, that's why
he's kind of boring to me.
Yeah, that's why I liked him when he was
at least at the very end. Sorry,
I just like that's why I liked only like the fact that he was like part hollow.
Yeah,
like and he had gained that because of Urahara doing that to him, like on purpose.
Yeah,
and but yeah, like.
It's like you were saying, where like whenever they get back to this one with his kid is probably also somehow this hell race or whatever it was.
Yeah,
which
I hope isn't the case. But...
Yeah, like how whatever it doesn't matter. He has to have the power of everything from the series because he's Ichigo's kid.
Yeah.
So and if they invent something new, surprise! He also has that in his bloodline. Because that's how the main character works in Bleach first.
Yeah. Not my favorite, but
yeah, I think that probably was like the part I really didn't like that part. But being part hollow is cool, you know?
That's why I didn't like when Chad's power was, like, not because he might have been part hollow, but because of just it being a full bring.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you know, like, they talked about, like, when he came to Hueco Mundo, it was like a family reunion to him. And he was the way he described it, and, like, you know, finding out also that his other power wasn't, you know, a power to attack, was about a power to defend.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, the left hand of the giant. The right hand arm of the giant, the left hand of the devil. And you're like, man, that's so fucking cool. I hope they go more. And then, like, he gets, like, a full thing. Like, you know, he gets, like, all this other stuff. Like...
But at least, like, an armor or something.
Yeah. Like
sort of an armored form.
Yeah,
like armored full body.
Yeah, like a full-bodied armored form that's, like, oh, yeah, like, you find out that Chad had, like, you know, some sort of... like hollow in him or something like that.
You know.
Something that was related to hollows.
Something maybe that would work with the... I don't know how far he had got on the idea of, like, the different places have different things.
Yeah.
Because it would have been interesting if it made sense with, like, his heritage.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, exactly.
Because it kind of felt like that's what it was going for.
Because he's from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it would make sense because, again, like... Yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought also. Because, you know, like, it's Hueco Mundo. It's in Spanish, you know, and shit like that. And so...
So you're like, oh, something obviously is going on here.
And then the Fullbring arc fucking sucks. The villain, the main villain, cool as fuck. That power is broken.
Yeah.
I love powers like that. They're like, fuck with your... Like, that fuck with the enemy's ability to even fight you.
Yeah. Like,
that is basically some, like... There's a villain like that in this Isaac Asimov thing. You know, Foundation?
Yeah.
That's, like, the main big antagonist is like that. Like, they can, like... basically they get you on their side. Yeah. So, and then that's always cool because it's just like, well, fuck, you know, because it's also like, what is it, Heaven's Door, you know? Yeah. Where it's like, you just write in there, it's like, you can never attack Kishibe Rohan like that, you know? Yeah. It's like that kind of shit. But everyone else fucking hated in that arc. Yeah. I remember me and Mike just kept joking. We were like, I can't wait for the part of this arc where it cuts back and it's Aizen and he's still talking to Ichigo and he says, see, that's what's going to happen if you fight me.
You didn't like my eel jokes?
Yeah, you don't like my shitty eel jokes? You know, we just were like hoping it was a fucking dream or something. If I'd have known you could just drop series back then, I would have done it. Yeah. Like, I didn't even realize that was a thing. I was still under the sunk cost fallacy. You know, because no one was ever... Usually people weren't like, yeah, I just dropped it because it sucks. You know? Yeah.
Usually you're like, well, I've been invested for my whole
it was life. Just like, oh, you read Bleach because Bleach was out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you're already reading it, you know? It's like, yeah, it's not good, but you keep reading it. You know, that kind of thing.
Because it might get better.
Yeah. It was like... Fuck, man. What do we got? Let's see. Idol says they could have made his full-powered form into a Day of the Dead-inspired look. Oh, yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah, I wanted that. Helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, totally dropped the ball on making Chad a Chad. Very true.
Again, also, he had like a lot more interesting stuff going on where he was like talking about like his like... You know, the reason he's fighting and why he, like, also... Because he used to be, talked about how he used to be a bully. Mm-hmm. And then he, like, has a... they never go back to talking about his abuelo. Yeah. And, you know, I wanted to know more about this character because it's like there seems to be something that guy knew.
Yeah, right?
That we didn't.
Yeah, how does that connect to, like, his power, you know?
Yeah. So I was like, man, I really hope we get to this stuff. And, boy, we did not.
Nope.
We did not.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's in the newly added scenes for the 1,000-Year Blood War anime.
Probably not, but...
No, God, no. God, no.
I don't even think Chad gets a fight, to be honest with you.
I don't... Like I said, I don't remember this arc almost at all. There was shit that is like, I've seen, and it's like, oh, I did read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I had actually forgot that I read past where Rukia did that Bankai. Remember when you were drawing that? And I was like, oh, I did read this. Like, I thought I had just seen it somewhere. I was like, no, I read that fucking chapter. I was like, and I read further than that somehow. I just totally forgotten.
Yeah, because she goes Bankai and then they cut away and then they actually never show the fight.
Well, she just freezes that guy and that's it. There's not like a fight. That guy just gets frozen. Because she just like activates her power and freezes everything. And then she like almost shatters like herself.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So that's why they just kind of like... Because, yeah, it's the same as, like, that other power where, like, the field would come up and freeze everything. Except it's just, like, she's in the middle of it.
I remember
what I remember.
Eric was telling me about some of the fights. And particularly some of the egregious ones. Because there's a guy who's fights Kenpachi.
Yeah, that one. I remember that guy.
And it's like has this weird imagination power.
Yes.
And Kenpachi's like, well, try to imagine yourself stronger than me, and he couldn't do it, so he exploded or some shit.
Yeah, it's something like that. That guy looks like a character who should have been in like an Advance Wars game.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, because he reminds me of like how Strom looks, I think, in one of them. Or something like that.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I'd have to see this guy again, but from what I remember, he looks like a dude who would be on the Black Hole Army.
Yeah.
So.
Again. But yeah, no. Again, I just... that was something else too. I was like, I would have loved to have gotten a chance to draw Chad, but I'm like, that's never gonna fucking.
Yeah, and didn't Kenpachi like his Bankai was just his sword turning into a giant axe or something?
No, that was his Shikai.
Oh, okay, that was when he actually activated his power. Okay,
so that was his Shikai.
Okay,
his Bankai he turns him into a red devil.
Oh, okay.
Of some sort of thing. I don't really know what the power is or care to know.
I don't know. I don't care either at this point.
I just know that it gave him crazy power up.
Okay, good enough.
That made him broken.
I mean, he was already overpowered anyway.
I know.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. He was great. I actually liked that he was a character that didn't...
I didn't think we ever needed that.
I did like... There was one thing I liked about it. I did like that we got to find out like where he got his name from and why he was like, you know...
the whole story with him and Unohana.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool like thing, and why he it gave you good insight as to why he like does the all the restraints and things like that, because he's very afraid of not because he's afraid of dying or anything, but because he was afraid of not having a chance to fight Unohana again.
Yeah,
like. It was like something like they had a fight, and it was his the funnest, the most fun he'd ever had. And he was like, "But this fun could probably at one point end," and that's what scared him. So he stopped growing stronger.
Yeah.
Which I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I still hate the fact that you gave Unohana a backstory just to fucking kill her. But
yeah, that was the part that was annoying because like that was actually really cool when they were like down in that secret room like fighting, and like she got all like dark looking and shit, and like. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is actually interesting here.
Yeah, again, that's one of the there's a joke, not a joke. It's part of the Bechdel test.
Oh, nice.
Where it's like a woman character who's just there to
power up a male character, basically, like the Stars and Stripes girl in fucking My Hero.
Yeah,
this arc serves no purpose except basically to power down Shigaraki, I guess technically, but
for the advancement of another character.
Yeah. Yeah, this character is there for no reason except to do that.
Yeah. Just like, all right, man. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like, because it sucked, because like, I didn't want Unana to die like that. Like, you want that, like, because that power is just extremely fucking broken. Like, you'd want that on your side, like, throughout the entirety of the story arc, but I guess we just decided not to.
I mean... Kenpachi, more popular character.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, like, characters could become more popular if you give them the chance to be.
Pretty much any character you give screen time to becomes the most popular character of the month, usually.
Yeah.
That's how all of those character polls were, like, in Naruto. It would be, like, Naruto, Sasuke, and then, like, whoever's kind of relevant at the moment. Something like that. They were always kind of like that. Like, the main character, main kind of people, the mentor character is usually always really popular as well, no matter the poll. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of like whoever's the flavor of the arc, you know? Yeah. Because they're the, like, new, shiny toy, basically, for the fan base.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, man, oh, no, I'm going to vote for this character, you know?
This character's cool as fuck.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot in those character polls.
But yeah, no, I think Uenohana could have done some more stuff. But again, it's his story. He gets to decide it. But I just think that there's like a lot of stuff I'm like, man, I'm really upset because X, Y, and Z thing seemed like it was going some way, but it ended up not being anything. Or maybe he just didn't have time or didn't really feel or think about it.
Yeah.
Because, like, we talked about, with Chad. We're like, well, what about...
Especially if he's writing this when he had wanted the series to be over.
Yeah, because you never know. Like, that's like with, like, Claymore. Like, why people like Claymore, like, or other series where they just purposely tank what they made.
Well, they made what they wanted when they got to come back.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for him, though.
Yeah, that's different. Because the Claymore artists, they wanted them to end it. And so they were like, oh, really? Okay. All right, the next chapter's the end. That was it.
Yeah. But stuff like that,
Yeah, like they finished the plot that they wanted to finish.
Or like Shaman King.
Shaman King is like that, yeah. Are you using the iPad anymore?
No, I just realized that too.
So, let's see. Idle says, Naruto has so many cool characters, but underused or is power crept out. Yeah, pretty much. Again, welcome to Shonen.
Yeah.
That's just how the genre works. The main character will probably always be the most powerful character in some shape or form.
I do know that, I mean, at least with One Piece, every character still gets to stick around.
Yeah, it's like, it's weird. There are ones that are really good that don't fall into all the traps. And then there are the ones that are all the tropes,
Yeah, like Black Clover does a pretty good job of making sure characters stay relevant, but that's because like every character is kind of broken.
Yeah. But yeah, if it's a shonen with a big cast, prepare for your favorite side character to do nothing.
Yeah. But though it is interesting though how like nowadays the formula is a bit like different in the
true.
In the sense of like, oh yeah, sure, you're gonna have like major arcs and characters will come and go and things like that, so some characters will get sidelined. But like most shonen nowadays is very good about like being quick.
At least some of them are.
Yeah.
Like Demon Slayer was like that.
Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, but like those were all stuff that came out like after My Hero.
Yeah.
Because I think My Hero is kind of like the last one that, while it's pretty good about not having too much in it, it still has a lot of like it has that problem of too many characters that do nothing.
Yeah.
Like. And yeah, you're like, oh, well, obviously, it's the main character is just going to show up and win.
Yeah, and it's annoying in My Hero because there are spots that are like really good where it's like, this is where the author's message was. I think we've talked about this before. It's like this is where their message was, and then now it's just gone past that, and so they just have to have a giant fight,
Yeah, a giant CG monster.
Yeah.
And now we just wait for it to end.
Yeah, now you just wait for it to end,
Also, even Tony fucking hates My Hero.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That tells you a lot.
Yeah, that's like, oh, man.
Tony was like, I cannot believe this stupid fucking Peach chapter. Really? I told him, I was like, yeah, man, Night Eye saw that and said, you're going to be a splendid hero.
Yep.
Yeah, no. But like that's why I think like Jujutsu Kaisen does a pretty good job. Dandadan, you don't know about that, but it's a pretty good job of keeping characters around because the cast.
It seems like it's always on point from what you tell me.
Because I think people like Shonen magazines kind of realize it's better to have smaller casts of characters, or they're just like, oh well, I really hated when it was always like, okay, we just gotta wait for X character to show up, and then we're good.
Yeah, most of all of Dragon Ball, just like, especially Dragon Ball Z and shit, is like just Goku will show up and that's it.
Because like in Jujutsu Kaisen, like Itadori will show up, but we don't know if he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Like we know he'll probably live, but we don't know if he's gonna be.
Is My Hero anywhere close to ending? I haven't been paying attention. Yeah, they're in the last like giant fight.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the last arc, and it's supposed to be the last fight.
Yeah, they're just in a giant battle. It's like the Avengers Endgame part or whatever, where everyone shows up to fight Thanos.
Yeah. Which
makes sense because it's a superhero series.
Yeah. And the creator likes superhero movies.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not like knocking what he likes and what he wants to make. Mm-hmm. I am just saying it's not for me.
Yeah. Like, again, I think we both agreed. We really liked when My Hero was a bit more like X-Men.
Yeah.
Where it talks about, like, what does it mean to be in this hero society.
Yeah.
And especially when it talked about the villains being, like, an outcast of this, because, again, like, if your quirk is just not, like, socially acceptable, then you're a villain, that kind of thing.
Like the guy who was, like, had the brainwash quirk, but he admired All Might, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
Everyone just put him with the villain group because he was a villain. Or, like, Toga, or, like, all these characters that are just kind of, like, they could have had, a chance on life.
Yeah.
But were deemed, evil because...
Because that's like X-Men,
Yeah.
Because that's the Mutant Brotherhood kind of, That's like that and the, what were they? God, the Villain League? I'm going to call them the Evil League of Evil, chat.
The League of Villains.
The League of Villains. That arc. I like that arc.
Mm-hmm. The Evil League of Evil.
Well, that's from Dr. Horrible.
I know.
But I think that encompasses that, like, trope the best, though.
Yeah.
The Evil League of Evil, I love them. With Bad Horse. Yeah. Bro, Bad Horse is just one of the most busted villains in all of, like, fiction, obviously. Like, come on. Yeah. Yeah, flashbacks of the Ninja War? Yeah, a little bit.
It's kind of like it, but, like...
I actually, alright, I guess, like, controversial opinion, I don't mind most of the Ninja War arc. There's some dumb shit, but I thought some of it was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the only thing, I think the big takeaway now that it's over and everyone's, like, kind of, had time to process it, is that it just kind of didn't go anywhere and hung on things that just really didn't need to be there. Also, like, when you do war arcs, the person you need to look at for reference is Oda.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that Marineford War, like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, because Oda's, like, the only one who kind of knows, like, what he's doing when it comes to, like, oh, you have a bunch of things going on, and you can make a pretty crazy, like, large-scale invasion.
Yeah, like Wano, where there's, like, all these fights going on all at the same time.
Yeah, Dressrosa.
Jumping around. Oh, yeah, Dressrosa was like that.
See, the problem was that there's two big problems with how, a ninja war, if this happens, you know what I mean? Like, normal, like, the way they did it was just like, oh, we're gonna have the armies and they're gonna face off. It basically, okay, here's a good way to put it.
Right.
They did it like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And when you're gonna have ninjas fighting, you shouldn't have the war be like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
It does not make sense to have a large scale fight like that. Also, why Oda does a better job of doing these wars, or big large battles, is because there's always a timer.
Yes.
There's always a timer. With Wano, the thing was on fire. The whole shit was on fire. And then CP0 shows up. Like, all these big name people start showing up. And there's parts where, like, Luffy loses, and then Kaido has to come in, and they just hold him off. but then there's also like in Dressrosa,
the bird cage.
You know, there's always something.
Like, I mean, the timer is in the Ninja War is what? Like the Infinite Tsukuyomi? Is that on a timer?
No,
I can't remember.
No. So basically, it was just like, oh, we're gonna fight. Like they're basically what happened was.
I remember they had to fight
White Zetsu.
Yeah.
Basically, Toby made an entire army of dead bodies and White Zetsu teamed up with Kabuto, and they were said, all right, we're just going to go do a full-on invasion of the thing. And then all the ninja people got together and said, all right, we're going to join together and we're going to fight them. And it's going to be a big war.
Yeah, you're right, because the Infinite Tsukuyomi thing doesn't come till later. Right?
No, it doesn't come till much later. And yeah, so there's no like real like the only thing that's imminent is what's in front of them.
Yeah.
It's not like some sort of extemporaneous thing, something else that's outside of their control. It's just the army that is coming. It's just, you know, the army of orcs.
Yeah.
That's coming to take the castle and kill everyone. Which, don't get me wrong, like it works in Lord of the Rings, but that's because it's like, you know, Lord of the Rings. It's
Lord of the Rings.
It's a fantasy series. It's, you know, it's
relatively low power level compared to anime.
Yeah, relatively low power level, definitely.
We're gonna go with low power level universe compared to anime.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, you know, you get like kind of stuff like that, so...
let's see, yeah, he says it doesn't help that the opposing force were technically zombies or literal cannon fodder. Yeah. Like, I thought it was cool what I was calling the, like, quote, Mega Man final level. Yeah, the boss rush aspect of that war. That was what I liked. But I will definitely agree that it is, you know, not the best part.
No.
And I really hated that they just fight Kagi at the end because she just comes out of nowhere and I don't fucking care.
Yeah, it's also because like it was nice that Asuma was brought back to life so they could have that little thing.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that. They had some closure with that.
They had some Haku and Zabuza got some closure.
Yeah, like there was really cool stuff within the arc.
Yeah,
is how I see it. There's also some dumb shit like we were talking about with the stupid pot thing.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that at all.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about any of these characters. Because like a bunch of characters were introduced in this arc. And they were given a fight in this arc when I don't fucking care.
Yeah, they were technically introduced, I think, at the Kage Summit.
Yeah.
Most of them.
They were introduced, but like...
But no one really cared. This is the Hunter x Hunter boat prince bodyguard situation where there's 1,000 characters and you don't really care.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters in... the Hunter x Hunter portion of it, like, you know, like, oh, this person's just gonna die probably because they don't...
Yeah, so it's like, all right, here's all the Kages with all of their crew, and then you're like, okay, that's kind of cool, you know, whatever, you know, and then they all come back, and I'm supposed to care about them, you know, when, like, they didn't get any real development much, you know. Let's see. A lot of them were fan service, for the sake of it, like the 7 Mist Swordsmen. Yeah, but I enjoyed that, though. I thought it was cool to see all the other swordsmen. So that was for me, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I do still think overall it's, like, kind of a failure of an ending. Like,
it also doesn't end.
Yeah.
That's why it's also a failure of an ending, because it actually doesn't end, and it actively tries to keep going.
Yeah. Like... Yeah, Uchiha Madara should have been the last villain. Like, that was it. Like, I don't care about any of the other, like, the moon people shit or whatever. That was never, like, I hate when that happens. Like, it's, I don't know. It's, you can do it well, but this one did not. You know, just all of a sudden there's characters.
Well, it's because, it's weird because, like, that's such a Final Fantasy thing.
Yes! Fuck, it's just like a JRPG. You're right. You're right. That final arc is just a fucking JRPG. Yeah.
So it's just like a JRPG thing, but that's like the problem is this isn't a JRPG.
Yeah.
This is Naruto.
Yeah, this is a story I've been reading for a decade.
Yeah, that have had no, like, you know...
Yeah.
Like, the idea of, like, where chakra comes from, that doesn't matter. That's not important to
the story. It was never brought up until, like, right then.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, by the way, now that's the final villain. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. You know?
And then, like, Black Zetsu was this thing that was like a plant this entire time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care about this. Like, Uchiha Madara was, like, the coolest fucking dude. I'm sorry. You can't introduce this guy and then be like, he's not the final villain. It's like, what? This was the guy who was scheming the whole fucking time. Like,
yeah, because he wanted to come back to life so he could get revenge for the way the Uchihas were treated.
Yeah, exactly. That story makes sense and is good, and you see it, like, especially at the beginning part, you know? Well, I mean, there's only one Uchiha left, but, you know, it gets explained a lot, and then when it's in the backstory, it's, like, so good.
Yeah, when they actually talk about it with, like, Danzo, when you find out that Itachi, you know, was, like, you know... was asked to do this because the Uchiha were planning a coup.
Yeah. Like, dude, I love that whole part with Madara and Hashirama in the past and shit. I was like, this is good. I was, like, blown away.
Yeah, because they have that whole arc where they're, like, training and they don't realize who each other are.
Yeah.
And then they find out and then they're like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We're still friends. And then they're like... you know, where they meet each other and then they throw rocks.
I was just about to say that part where they both meet and, like, they knew they were, like, kind of tailed there by everyone, you know, and that, like, shit was going to go down, and so they just tossed the rocks in and left.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, this scene is so good.
Yeah, it was a really good scene. Like legit got goosebumps remembering that scene, because that's a good fucking scene. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's
Idol says he wrote himself into a corner and made Madara too strong. No, Madara was as strong as he should be. He just did a JRPG fucking ending.
Yeah, suddenly God.
Yeah.
It was just because, like, I think, well, because, like, Madara was, like, on his last fucking legs when he...
that was the sexy moon goddess. Yeah, right? You were saying?
Madara was on his last legs when he fought Guy.
Yeah.
Because Guy, like, beat the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah. I thought, like, again, I think Madara was, like, perfect to be the final villain. Like,
yeah.
He should have been the final villain. They, like... You know, Sasuke and Naruto have their fucking fight. You show, like, an epilogue or something with White Zetsu and Kaguya or something, and then it goes into that movie, and then it goes into Boruto. I'm fine with that.
But yeah, I will agree, though, that it probably was written to a corner with Madara, but, like, it just, because he's like, oh, I want something a bit more... grandiose is how I imagine
that's the issue here.
Is how I imagine he was like thinking. It was like, Madara's not very grandiose of an ending for this. Why don't I talk about how chakra came to be? And like again, like because Naruto again is also about like this breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
So like talking about how chakra was given to two brothers and then you know, like that's a cool fairy tale folklore sort of thing, but that just like out of nowhere.
It was out of nowhere. That was the issue. Like if this had come up way earlier. Like when Sasuke and Naruto fought each other at the end of part 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be fucking amazing because then it's even more... Like, it makes even more sense when they do that thing where, like, Naruto has, like, the wind element and he's like, oh, it's... You know, he's like, well, it's bad against flames. He's like, no, it's just support the flames, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, because, like, they would be the brothers. Like, it's like, okay... You can have this in your head and be like, that's why it was like it. I did it the whole time. But that's not good foreshadowing.
No, yeah.
That's not foreshadowing.
Like, it's good when it's, like, you know, done.
The audience needs to know that shit. Like, it works. It still works in the context when he's talking in that conversation. But, like, if we'd have known about all that shit way earlier, it would have been much better.
Yeah, it would have been a much better payoff.
Yeah.
If they'd done that right when they did the fight, because like they had that.
Idol says Madara versus Guy was awesome. Would have been okay if you finished him.
Honestly, same.
Yeah.
If Madara was if they had planned that Madara wasn't going to be the final boss or some shit like that, then I probably would have been like, oh okay, yeah. It's fine, you know. Guy gets to kill Madara.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't have seen that fucking coming.
No, definitely. Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen that shit coming.
Yeah. Never saw it coming.
All right.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, these look great. Let me go, like, zoom in. Let me go run around here.
Yeah, this is a good way to end it with all the rest of the Iran car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks great. This Hellbell does look really good. Yeah, that looks great. I like the face. The face is really good. I can zoom in on it real quick. Yeah, look at that face, chat. Looks great. Oh, this one looks really good too. Way over in the corner here. A little out of focus. Yeah, no. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, the very end of Naruto ruins Naruto. Like, it ruins my memory of Naruto. That and Boruto. They, like, ruined my memory of Naruto. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of parts of Naruto that are not very good, though, I think. But, like we were talking about, pretty much anything that is Sasuke after he gets revenge.
Yeah.
Because, like, Kishimoto just has no fucking clue what to do with this character once he gets revenge.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna have him go, like, find some new friends or something, I guess. You know, now that he's done with revenge, he can learn about friendship. Like, bitch, shut up. Unironically considering buying it? Well, doesn't that just mean you're actually considering it?
Don't worry. But yeah, if you do, just you've got our socials. You can always DM us, and we'll work something out.
Yeah, we'll package it up and ship it out.
Yep, I just got to scan her in first so I can show it, post it on the socials.
I said it would be $150 plus about probably $10 for shipping. So. Mm-hmm. You're the only one who could look at it. The only one who gets to enjoy this face at night. Look at that. That would be yours.
Yep.
And on that note.
It is funny. I do enjoy doing some of these.
Ash says the art looks great.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I was saying I do enjoy doing these because these are like some of these pieces that I'm like, I wish someone would commission me to do these things, and then I just commission myself and then sell it later. Is kind of how I feel.
Yeah, like again, if you draw the characters you want to draw, they look really fucking good.
Yeah.
And so if someone else likes that character, they're just like, holy shit, I have to own this.
Pretty much.
So I think that's a good way to think about it going forward.
Pretty much.
Is like, draw the piece you would want to pay for. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a good like mantra kind of, you know, because again, if you're finished and you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, I would pay $150 for this, then you did a good job. So, but all right. And so Tokyo Night Festival got moved apparently, but it didn't get moved too far away.
So yeah,
just a weird update on that.
But we're gonna still be there next show.
Yeah, that's our next show in a few weeks. So
yeah, we'll see what happens.
I hang out with lots of Zoomers. The lingo creeps in. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I just always like comment on people, like how people talk, and just just like when people say stuff.
Yeah.
What was it? I remember because someone said like, what was it? Oh, it was the God and Anime Kid when he was just like, no, I just listened to it ironically, and I was like, bro, after the third time, it's no longer ironic. You can just say you like it. Like,
it's true.
It's like you're just fighting with yourself here on this. But. So we're gonna head out. We're gonna have a good night. Y'all have a great night. We will be back on Monday, I guess.
There's Monday.
Reason not to be, I think.
No, Monday is still good.
And we're just gonna be. I think it's kind of doing whatever.
Doing whatever I feel.
Kind of up in the air right now. So.
I mean, I've got a list.
Yeah. I just mean like you haven't settled. Like it's not. We're not gonna be like it's this and this and that. You know, whatever.
I mean, I've got like, the list that I'm gonna do, but like I don't remember it off the top of my head.
So. But, so everyone have a great night. Watch Funky Space Wizard Battle, and we'll be back on Monday.
Yep, see you then.